I'm Andre Badenhorst and this is my story. I fell in love with photography at a very young age. For me it all started in art class in high school. I think I was 15 years old. I really sucked at school and I think the art class was kind of my safe haven. Just one semester we could choose if we wanted to do an etching project or a photography project. I chose a photography project. I actually stole my sister's camera back then. I was a big about that, and I started just photographing my friends, shooting portraits of them, shooting them skateboarding. We were all skateboarders. Till this day I still skateboard. Growing up with such a creative group of friends all being skateboarders, whenever we had a chance or had access to a still camera or video camera, we would film each other or take photos. A lot of us obviously had big dreams of getting sponsored one day, so we were filming sponsor me tapes. I now know why we never got sponsored. We were not that great. Skateboarding taught me so much. That alternative lifestyle, you know, it taught me kind of to break the rules, but also know the rules to break them and how far you can push things. It was this stage in my life that where I knew that I wanted to one day be a photographer. So I think I was very lucky in my career. I wasn't somebody that was wondering what they wanted to do after school. So I took a year off and pretty much just partied, skated, checked out bands. It was amazing. After that I decided to go to Stellenbosch and I went to a college there. We were taught the basics. I studied on film, so we had access to a dark room, so I spent a lot of time in the dark room and I was just taking that year to shoot as much as I can and develop my photography skills. After studying in Stellenbosch, I came back to Joburg and I started studying multimedia at Open Window. I was shooting weddings for a studio as well. So it was pretty tough times. I started, to be honest, in weddings to pay the bills. It then became a pretty big thing for me. At the studio that I worked at, I got fired. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I think 2 or 3 days later, my business partner Maritza Bartman started a company called Black Frame Photography. That was back in 2008. The idea behind Black Frame Photography was that we break away from traditional wedding photography. So we were working really hard to bring conceptual photography into wedding photography and just try and push the boundaries a little bit. It was, however, very difficult. Back then, people were very conservative in the wedding industry, but I think that's one thing that set us apart. One day, with shooting all these weddings, I think we were really overdoing it, and I just really got full. I was completely overshooting weddings. So what we decided is that we're going to start shooting passion projects. So what a passion project is, of course, is shooting something for your portfolio, and that was something I focused on really hard, so I can put work out there that I one day wanted to be booked for. So we were a couple of mates that had different brands of flashes, and we'll just throw everything together, work on a concept and make it happen. Another really big influence in my life has always been music. I'm not a musician, I can't play any instrument. I can maybe play the triangle. I'm just joking. After school I've always photographed bands, live bands, Fuzzy Kish, League and the Bouncing Uptones. We used to have huge parties in Pretoria at the Nile Crocodile, and I just grew up in that scene. After shooting and working on these passion projects, a really awesome thing happened, and the band Aching saw one of the images that we shot, and that year they brought out Morning After, and we got to shoot the album cover for Morning After. And I think from there things just kind of started happening. After the Aching cover, I also shot Parlour Tones. I was the official photographer for the Blood Brothers, which I think I photographed 4 years of campaigns. And I also obviously got to know all these guys. Some of the highlights of shooting live bands for me was I got to photograph the Deftones, Rise Against, Bring Me the Horizon. And I mean, for somebody like me, Rise Against is one of my favorite bands ever. So the day I met them, I almost burst into tears with my homie Alan Sayers. It was insane, and we got to stay with them for a whole week in Cape Town. It was a crazy time. My most favorite shoot, I would most probably say, was shooting Fok of Polisikar for their marketing images for Self-Medicasi. And then another big one was shooting Jack Barrow for Africa for Beginners. That was amazing, man. I loved that shoot. And then, sure, I got to tour to Barrow Fest. Obviously the Netherlands, yes, I'll move tomorrow. It's an incredible place, and yes, the people love a party there. On the commercial side, I was doing cool projects. I shot the 1 year's Vodacom Durban July, did some shoots for Converse, was doing magazine covers for Tolgenoot. That's one of my favorite clients to work for. And every magazine cover is always a very conceptual shoot, a massive production, so I really love working with them. First of all, before I say anything about conceptual photography, I need to say that I can't take all the credit. My business partner, Maritza Bartman, is a creative genius. We always work together. I've got an incredible team that helps me out. How the process works with us, with conceptual photography, is we'll get a brief. Myself and Maritza then brainstorm, we come up with ideas, we put a look and feel together. This look and feel will have color palettes, lighting mood, lighting references, what era is the shoot happening in, are we shooting on location or in studio. So we nail all those little things down to a T. That then obviously gets sent off to the client. They need to sign it off, and we take it from there. So with conceptual photography, all the hard work happens beforehand. The shoot day is where we have fun. I'm really obsessive about lighting, so I'll have a very good idea of how I want to light things, but sometimes things change. It might just be your subject's facial structure or something like that. So there's a lot of time that I spend doing lighting, and actually capturing the image is a quick thing. To be honest, I'm never happy with my images. I might be happy for maybe 2 hours if I'm lucky. But I think post-production is the best learning school. This is where you realize I needed to add in a little light in that corner. I needed to do that. And that's the amazing thing about art and photography. It's so subjective. My personal opinion is the moment you think you're a great photographer, you need to pack your camera up and sell it and maybe get another job, go sell cars, I don't know, I don't care, but you'll never be great at it. It's a continuously learning experience. Thanks to Adobe Cloud and Adobe's incredible software, they're just making things so much easier and possible. This was my story. Thanks for watching.